Welcome to my channel, and today we're breaking down a powerful moment from the NASCAR antitrust trial that puts a human face on the legal battle involving Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, and NASCAR itself. On day 3 of the federal trial in Charlotte, Bob Jenkins, the owner of Front Row Motorsports and co-plaintiff alongside Michael Jordan, finally took center stage. While much of the spotlight has been on Jordan and 2311 Racing, Jenkins' testimony may have been one of the most emotional and revealing moments of the case so far. Jenkins told the jury that in more than 20 years as a NASCAR Cup Series team owner, he has never turned an operational profit, not once. According to his testimony, Front Row Motorsports has lost an average of $6.8 million per year. In 2022 alone, the team lost $8 million, followed by another $5.7 million loss the very next season. Despite those numbers, Jenkins has stayed in the sport, not because it's lucrative, but because of his lifelong love for racing. He described growing up in an East Tennessee housing project, the son of a factory worker who bagged groceries at night. NASCAR was always part of his life. He talked about driving across the South with friends to attend races and being a charter member of the Dale Earnhardt fan club. At one point, while watching a race, Jenkins promised himself he would own a Cup Series car one day, even though, as his wife reminded him at the time, they didn't even own their own street car yet. That determination eventually led Jenkins to become one of the largest fast food franchise owners in the country, success that allowed him to fund his racing dream. But even with that success, Front Row Motorsports has remained extremely frugal. Jenkins told the jury his team is known as the team that's done the most with the least, even bringing its own ice to racetracks to save money. That's why he said it bothered him deeply when NASCAR suggested teams simply need to cut costs. "I can assure you it's not from malpractice," Jenkins said. "We're very frugal." Jenkins explained that he has stayed in NASCAR not because the charter system is fair, but because he believes one day it will be. He said if the system ever becomes fair, NASCAR teams could finally become valuable long-term businesses. But like 2311 Racing, Front Row Motorsports currently has no charters, the franchise-like agreements that guarantee race entries and revenue sharing. Those charters expired when the teams refused to sign NASCAR's latest take-it-or-leave-it agreement last September, and instead chose to sue. Jenkins testified that other team owners privately told him they didn't want to sign the deal either, but felt forced to do so under a sudden deadline. As he put it, they can't walk away from their investments. You can't turn a race shop into a warehouse. NASCAR's attorneys pushed back hard during cross-examination. Lawyer Lawrence Butterman accused Jenkins of hiding expenses and pointed to situations where Jenkins placed his family-owned Long John Silver's brand on unsponsored cars, calling it millions of dollars in free advertising for his children. Jenkins responded that he refuses to run blank cars because it hurts the team's business, and those family brands only appear when no outside sponsor can be secured in time. Butterman also questioned why Jenkins pays his drivers only 8.5% of team revenue, while accusing NASCAR of underpaying teams by keeping too much of the sport's overall revenue. Jenkins fired back with a memorable line, saying the comparison doesn't work because NASCAR teams have massive operating costs. "You don't wreck a $350,000 basketball," he said, drawing a clear contrast with other professional sports. Earlier in the day, the trial also heard from NASCAR strategy executive Scott Prime, whose internal emails and past consulting work were used by the plaintiff's attorneys to argue that NASCAR has long known about the financial struggles of its teams, yet failed to fix the system. A 2014 report prepared during Prime's time at McKinsey even warned about the long-term health of the sport if teams weren't better supported. In conclusion, Bob Jenkins' testimony wasn't just about numbers and contracts, it was about survival, passion, and belief. Alongside Michael Jordan and 2311 Racing, Jenkins painted a picture of a system where teams bleed money while holding on to hope that fairness will eventually arrive. As this trial continues, it's becoming clear that this case could reshape the future of NASCAR for teams, owners, and fans alike. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.